Avatar: The Last Airbender has always been an emotional series, Season 2 specifically, with episodes like The Tales of Ba Sing Se, Zuko Alone, and of course the season finale. The show really packed an emotional punch over the course of the season, and after seeing the trailer for Season 2 of Netflix's live-action remake, I'm even more excited for how emotional this season is gonna make me. For me, having real actors just creates even more relatability with the characters. It allows me to emphasize on a deeper level with their emotions and with what they're going through, because the live action settings and the real people really ground the story in something that feels real. So today, I want to talk about the 3 most emotional arcs in Season 2 as highlighted by the trailer. The first character I want to talk about is the main man himself, Aang. Now, Aang's arc in this season revolves around him learning earthbending, but that's not really where his emotional arc is. Instead, Aang's emotional arc revolves around the decisions he has to make as the Avatar. Azula's dialogue in the trailer actually reflects this. She asks Aang,
"How much are you willing to lose?"
In the show, Aang feels like he has to decide between Katara and the world, between Katara and the Avatar state, between what he wants and what the world needs. Aang's emotional arc in this season is not a positive one. No, it's a negative one. Where Aang begins Season 3 is a worse place than where he begins Season 2. Yes, he's more powerful, but he has failed. And not only has he failed, but he has also taken the wrong lesson from that failure. I often talk about how good characters fail. Then they actually change from that failure. Aang fails in Season 1, but he doesn't change a huge amount from it. Season 2 doesn't let up on it. It forces him to change. He must let go of what he loves. I think that it's telling that pretty much the only time we see Katara clearly is in this scene with Aang from the season finale. Yes, she's shown as the Painted Lady, but that was quite a short clip, and that plot point was originally from Season 3, so I don't really know what they're planning to do with that. Aang is forced to fail this season. He has to endure the horrors of war firsthand, and an interesting counterpoint to the fact that he ran away from war 100 years ago. Azula is not the catalyst for the change that Aang undergoes, but we get to see in this trailer that she puts pressure on him. What does he really value most? Himself? His friends? The world? It's going to be great to see a real human actor portray the internal struggle that Aang has to go through in this season. Next, I want to talk about Jet. Now, we saw him in Season 1, and he was given about as much screen time in the live-action show as he was in the animated show. Some might even say he was more important for Katara's arc in the live-action show, because Jet is the one who helps her with her waterbending almost as much, if not more, than Aang does. Jet shows up in Ba Sing Se in Season 2, where he turns into one of the most tragic side characters in the show. And look, in the original, just like most of the characters, there are many moments where he is shown as cartoony and played for laughs, but his real arc is anything but funny. Jet is a literal child who is turned into a freedom fighter and extremist by war. He is willing to take out an innocent village just to attack the Fire Nation in Season 1, but that's not because he's evil. Rather, the Fire Nation killed his parents, so it only makes sense that he would want to destroy them. For a child, your parents are your whole world. When the Fire Nation takes Jet's world away from him, he justifiably wants to do the same thing to them. But none of this is in Season 2. In Season 2, Jet is a refugee with 2 members of his gang in Ba Sing Se. He thinks that Zuko and Iroh are firebenders, and he's right. What hurts is how he goes about trying to expose them. All Jet knows is war and war strategy. He is not just aggressive as a leader, but also as a person. Zuko and Iroh have everyone else so fooled that they don't believe Jet. His aggressiveness is branded as insanity. His instincts are called paranoia, and he is taken to Lake Laogai. The observation I want to make about Jet here is that the brainwashing he undergoes at Lake Laogai is not the first time Jet loses himself. The first time he loses himself is when his parents were killed by the Fire Nation. From that moment forward, Jet is not the same person. Instead of a normal Earth Kingdom child, he becomes a warrior, a soldier. That is the first time he loses himself. The second time is, of course, the brainwashing. This brainwashing at the hands of the Dai Li causes him to fight Aang, something he wouldn't normally have done. This is where the tragedy finally and really and truly arrives. After losing himself not once but twice, Aang finally helps Jet find himself again. Aang reminds Jet of his friends, the freedom fighters, and what he really stands for. It's not the Earth Kingdom. It's not fighting the Fire Nation. It's not bossing Say itself. It's freedom. And that's why Jet immediately proceeds to sacrifice himself for Aang, because he finally understood who he was. The tragedy, he dies in the process. We actually get to see this moment of self-realization in the trailer, and it's such a powerful shot. Jet gets a higher quality close-up than Katara in this trailer, and I think it's because he has one of the most powerful arcs in the season, and I'm really excited to see it in live action. Lastly, we have to talk about Zuko. His emotional moments aren't really highlighted at all in this trailer, which is interesting and weird to me, because in the original show, he is one of the most important characters for the whole season. I mean, we get an entire episode in this season that doesn't even show Aang or at all any of the gang, and exclusively shows Zuko. This entire season does all of the work for redeeming him, and I'll be clear, he's not obviously he's not redeemed in this season, but most of the important character work is done here. Throughout the course of the season, Zuko's underlying beliefs are systematically dismantled. The way he views the world fundamentally changes. This trailer doesn't really highlight that at all. Hopefully the third one does, because in the original show we get an entire episode focused on Zuko, the only one in the show that doesn't depict Aang at some point. This trailer instead focuses on Zuko's fighting ability, both as Prince of the Fire Nation and as the Blue Spirit. These two ways that Zuko fights reflect the warring sides of him shown in the season. Is he a proud Fire Nation soldier, or is he just a plain old good dude? What Season 3 shows him is that he can be both, but in this season, just like Aang, he is faced with an impossible choice, one made even more impossible by his sister. And just like Aang, Zuko's impossible choice is a false dilemma. The answer doesn't lie in one of the two options that Azula gives him, it lies in his own path. Zuko only begins to see that in this season, but it's vital that he does start to see it without fully understanding it immediately. He regresses in his character by design. The end of Season 2 gives Zuko exactly what he's wanted since the show started, but he is not the same person. We see this when he begins to wonder if it's even what he wants anymore. Again, we see change. This is why the writing in Avatar: The Last Airbender is so good. I'm so hyped to see this transformation for Zuko in live action. His ability to relate to the audience will just be that much higher. So, in the end, I don't think that this live-action show will be better than the original, but I do think it will be incredible in its own ways. The real-life aspects of the show allow it to be more immersive and more relatable on some levels than the animated show. The emotional arcs, I think, are just gonna hit different in this show. Well, that's all I got for this video. That is my version of a breakdown of this trailer. Obviously, I don't do Easter eggs because I'm not, the Avatarist or Movie Flame. I prefer to talk about themes of the characters. So if you want to hear me talk more about themes of character arcs from animated movies and shows and, other just fun stuff I like Star Wars, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'm talking about How to Train Your Dragon right now, going through all the character arcs in that movie, in that first one. So, yeah, and if you liked this one, just this one, you could hit the like button so more people could see it. That would be really helpful for me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Farewell, friends.